beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Parent Pivot Podcast. Why are you laughing at me?
No reason.
We are sitting in our cold sunroom where we record. That's why Julia's wearing her. If you're watching the YouTube version, she has her jacket on. I'm usually the warm one, but I'm also sitting here shivering because it's been in the 30s today in Georgia.
Very cold.
And very cold. And tomorrow I'm going rucking. If you don't know what rucking is, it's going walking, but you're wearing a weighted vest at 5 o'clock in the morning. Why? It's going to be 29 degrees. And I found a new group of men. It's called F3.
I'm kind of think that you're not going to make it there, but okay.
Yeah, I just made an airport run to go pick up our son and kind of a little tired. All of a sudden I went, hey, we haven't recorded a podcast for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
so
anyway,
here we are.
The reason why I sang the Christmas song is why, hon?
We got our Christmas stuff out early this year.
Never, ever, ever, ever in our life, we've been married 37 years, have we ever done it on November, we did it yesterday?
Saturday.
And like, what?
Yeah, well, just if you care, we've always had real trees. And last year we decided to purchase a fake tree. And now I don't have to worry about it dying. And, I can keep it up till New Year's and I don't have to worry about it. Plus we have a toddler in the house and we wanted to see her enjoy Christmas. So it's kind of fun to have the Christmas lights.
She knows how to operate the on-off switch, which has about 15 different ways. Either the white or colored lights can go on, and it just changes all the time.
Yes, it's very fun. Anyway, we are here to do the podcast. I did want to say, because we haven't said this in a long time, if you are new to the podcast and you're wondering, gosh, those were really short podcasts. We purposely make them short. We want you to be able to get in your car and drive from point A to point B and just have a thought about being a parent of an adult child and different situations with that. So that is our purpose. We do have some longer ones along the way. If you look at all of our podcasts that we have.
To our library.
In our library, we do have some longer ones. It's usually when we've interviewed someone. So, but today, I wanted to talk about, I was really having some moments, I guess when we were maybe doing the Christmas tree, just thinking about legacy, something that I think at some point, most of us, when we have children, are thinking that along the way. And then when we get to be empty nesters, maybe we're not thinking about it as much, or maybe we're thinking about it more. But I have an assignment, America.
Assignment, America. Kind of like America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yes.
Only this would be the Parent Pivot Podcast, Assignment, America.
Yes.
So listen up. Here it comes.
So parents of adult children, what I would love to see you do, actually I won't get to see it, but I would love to hear it, that you sat down and with your spouse or by yourself, if you don't have a spouse, sat down and made a list of maybe 5 to 10 things that you would like to leave as a legacy. It could be something, obviously a lot of us think of leaving a legacy as something we're leaving back for our children, like money. And that can be one of them. But I might go so far as, like, in our world, what is very important to us was and still is the legacy of hopefully our children knowing the Lord. And so when our kids were growing up, we made very intentional movements in that direction that took our kids there. As being grandparents now, it looks a little different. And now we think about that for our grandchildren. But there are other things that we think of. We want our family to have the ability to communicate well and to be open and honest with each other. You may have very specific things that you wanted to put on that list, but I just think it would be a great exercise to sit down and actually be mindful and intentional about writing those things down. They're on paper, you see them, and you're actually working toward that and being intentional about working toward that.
Right. I think of a legacy of generosity. You know, we don't always have to have a lot of resources to be generous.
No.
You know, in fact, I didn't tell you this, but, you know, our son Jackson flew out here, and I was texting him and saying, hey, they don't have a lot of money, as we were just having a conversation before we came in to record. And I said, look, if you want to buy internet on the airplane, if you need to get lunch, let me know. I got you and stuff. And so he texts me and it's like $17.26 for a burrito in the airport. And I said, don't worry. I said, our God has deep pockets, you know?
Yeah.
And what they're learning is just as we do that, when they get to a place and they're going, you know, Grandma Joe did it.
Yeah.
You know, my mom and dad
Still
did
does.
it. Still does. My mom and dad do it. And just having that heart of just being generous when you can. It doesn't always have to be money. It can be generosity of your time.
Yeah.
It can be generosity of your talent. I have a friend who is a great, dear friend I've known for 30 years. You know him. He's married our two of our kids. And he is giving his talent to help me redesign my Bringing Kingdom website. That just speaks to me of volumes. So it doesn't have to be a financial resource. It can be a talent. It can be your time. Yeah. And your kids are watching. When we talk a lot in our podcast, our adult kids are watching us.
Yeah.
That whether you're making a list or not, you are creating a legacy. And sometimes legacies can just be, sometimes family traditions, like, holidays like this. We're in the middle of the holidays right now. In fact, one thing I'm I don't want to say upset about, but it's like, the other couple of weeks ago, I took Florence. It was my day to watch her in the morning while Jamie and I went to Bible study. You were busy.
You talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we did a bunch of things. We went to Home Depot, and there was all the Christmas decorations. And I am frustrated because I feel like Thanksgiving gets overlooked. And here we are in a couple of weeks. A grateful heart goes a long way in this world.
Yeah.
And Christmas it's gotten too commercialized in years. And yes, we celebrate it. And I want to put a nice nativity scene out front, but I have to find the right one that looks classy for this woman that I've been married to. So, things like that. Be thinking of that stuff.
Yeah, I want to have a moment of being raw and authentic right now too. I hope you don't mind springing this on you.
You are? Okay.
Steve mentioned our kids are always watching, and our grandchildren are watching. Our grandkids are pretty young, but so they don't necessarily get anything that's happening.
Florence, we can't say certain words around her right now. She's not even 2 years old yet, and she's potty training herself.
Anyway.
Sorry, got off track. Squirrel.
But a couple weeks ago, Steve was laid off at his job. And I hope you don't mind me saying that.
Now the whole world knows. I don't know where you're going with this, but this has to do with legacy.
Well, I think part of the legacy is in how we react to things like that and how we handle it, our level of faith. And I will tell you, Steve has way more faith than I do. It's much more difficult for me. And with that said, though, I think our adult children watch Steve and are watching his faith and watching how he is handling this. And I see that as a great legacy, as how we handle it as a couple, how we deal with things. And it doesn't matter how old your kids are or how young they are always watching. And I think that is a great legacy. I think that that's very important. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I kiss you while we're recording?
No. No.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, we always tell you that we will be raw and authentic with.
There's rawness right there,
what's
folks.
Going on in our lives. And not only that, I mean, just to really spill how things have been for us the last few weeks. A few days after Steve lost his job, our sister-in-law died as well, and that has been tough. So we've been the last few weeks kind of going through a really tough season, and there's just a lot happening. And we would appreciate your prayers if you think about us. But
I'm sorry.
All that to say, again, getting back to the legacy portion of that is just they're always watching, and they are learning from you. And I bring up my mom a lot, 95-year-old woman. I'm still watching her. I'm still watching how she deals with things. And,
even though she can't keep a secret.
yeah. So, but there are things to be learned and watched, and yeah. Anyway,
so here's as I heard you say that about the whole job thing. I have been as we go through life, we hit seasons that we're like going, oh my gosh, I can't go through this again. Or we just don't know how we're going to get through it. It could be loss of job. It could be loss of, a parent. It could be loss of, your adult child. But God gives us the capacity to be there because he's there for us. And so when I look back on things, I've gained the capacity of my faith growing and getting stronger. And one thing I want to highlight that reminded me is resilience. Resilience is a legacy trait you can pass on to your kids. It's like, hey, mom and dad are going through some tough times, but look how they've handled it. Their faith is strong, and they're not allowing these things to, overwhelm them. They're not playing victim. They're not overreacting. Their faith is getting stronger as it goes. In fact, there's a book by John Eldredge. I'm a big John Eldredge fan. I've learned so much about myself and my walk, and what's given me the strong faith and that intimacy is a lot of his content.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this many, many times on the podcast, the Pause app. If you don't have the Pause app, it's called 1 Minute Pause. If you don't have that on your phone, you need to get that on your phone because that will help you stay in and stay present when life around you is falling apart. No matter what's happening, if your adult child's not speaking to you, if in-law kids or the other in-law parents are driving you nuts or whatever, it's like he just walks you through releasing everyone and everything to the Father, and he's right. So it teaches resilience. Resilience is a good legacy trait to pass on. So whereas I can carry and shoulder a lot of that during this season, where she's nodding her head, going, "It's harder for me." That's okay. One of us, and this is where we balance each other. Julie's so in touch with her emotions. I never was. And so I can, she's like, you need to go apologize to the kids. You guys have heard us talk about that a lot on the podcast. But, there's mom and dad. We bring a lot to the table as a couple.
Yeah.
And look at those things, go down and try to make a list. Like, what are we passing on to our kids, or what would we like to do? So stop majoring on the minors and step back and keep your mouth shut and the welcome mat out and start thinking about the long-term things that you want your kids and your grandkids to pick up and going, hey, Pop and Juju, they loved each other. They went through a lot of seasons where things happened, and yet they came through it every single time just fine. Their faith was even stronger through that. So that's a great legacy. You can, that's a freebie. You guys can throw that one down on your list. We'll do that there too.
But I think there are many things like that if you kind of dig in, I think that you will think of things that I'd really like to leave this to my kids, that they would leave it to our grandchildren, and, so on and so on and so on.
Right.
And so that was my thought this week, and an assignment to just sit down, write down 5 to 10 things.
And you know what? We'd love to hear what those 5 to 10 things are.
I would love to hear that.
Would you put them in the comment section here? If you're on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Put them in there. Hey, great idea. Here's what we did. If you're listening to the podcast, same thing. Can you shoot us an email at parentpivotpodcast@gmail.com? Can you send us a direct message on Instagram at parentpivotpodcast? That's where we're on all the social platforms. We would love to hear from you.
Yes.
We would love to hear, hey, that was a good idea, and this is what we thought of, because we're probably going to learn. We will learn from you going, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. And we might even talk about it on a future podcast if we have your permission to do that.
Yeah.
And things. But we would love to hear from you. Please let us know. Rate us, especially on Amazon. If you've gotten a copy of our book, Building 13 Principles for Building Healthy Relationships with Your Adult Children. We would love to get rated on that. I think we have a couple of reviews on there, but if you bought a book, please do that as well.
Yes.
And
please like us, share us, rate us, all of those things.
Yeah,
Be
and we have some ideas for what we want to do for the holidays and people we want to interview. So keep coming back here on Tuesday mornings when we post new content. And we're here to help you pivot from being a parent to a partner and wanting relationship over being right. So anything we
Yes.
haven't covered, please let us know. We'd love to know about that. And we'll be back here next week with some more Christmas carols on the Parent Pivot Podcast.
Bye.